What's up, noobs? It's tea time. It's been too long, but we're back.
Yeah, I haven't seen a human in 8 months. What's up, Denny? It's James.
Hi. Episode 368. Probably.
368.
Oh my god. So, got some tea from Yunnan. Classic orange moldy vibes.
Orange moldy.
I think it's orange.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. It's a tiger blood tea.
Tiger blood?
I don't know. Smells awesome. What's the story behind this? Looks like Yunnan sourcing.
Yeah.
2018.
So I actually just got a sample of this from a friend, Oolong Owl. So thank you to her for giving me this sample.
Cool.
Yeah, I haven't tried it, so
Great.
We'll get to it. It is a fungus among us,
Yeah.
as we like to say.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's some stuff. You know what? I'm going to rinse twice. Just not because I'm too afraid of it, just because I want to get to the good stuff, and we are filming a few episodes today.
That's true.
So I don't want to get too jacked up on no first steeps. We're going for the good stuff here at TeaDB.
Yeah. just put a lime right into my brain.
A lime right?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't even. I'm not even cool enough to figure out how IV drip in my brain, and you don't even have an IV drip in your brain, do you? I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I do play one on the
Yeah, although I know that that's a common misconception.
Yeah.
A lot of people email us and they're like, I know Dr. Dennison Chapin.
Right. Yep.
NPI of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. We're back.
We're joke. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna let that go for just a second.
And this looks pretty hard pressed, frankly. I mean, I wouldn't say like an iron pressed cake, but
yeah,
it looks like very So is that going to influence for all of the noobs out there? Noobs. Is that going to influence how you start brewing a tea, James? What's the...
a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a reason why... There's a couple of different reasons why we rinse compressed tea sometimes twice, such as this. And one of the reasons is because they are compressed. So, I mean, kind of like a ball oolong, it just takes a little bit of time to get going sometimes.
Yeah.
Usually you don't want to brew super compressed pieces too. It's just going to be kind of uneven. So you want to break it up a little bit before you get going.
Yeah.
So, yeah, how's that smell?
It smells awesome. Strong raisins. It smells almost like a roasted oolong tea. So I'm interested in seeing how it tastes. I'm going to suspect that it's going to taste a little different than it smells.
Yeah, I actually just had a different Fucha this morning too, and it's definitely it's not what you expect. I mean, if your baseline for fermented, post-fermented tea is something like bright pour, it's just very different.
Yeah,
it's much brighter.
Exactly, not nearly as funky. It's hard. It'd be harder blind to tell that it was aged or that it had undergone some sort of fermentation.
Right.
Which is interesting because, to your point, brighter and kind of crisp, don't have as much of the fermented flavors going on. But, it's just interesting. A very clean tea, given that there's actual, mold.
Yeah. Kind of grapey almost.
Huh, interesting.
If I was a wine person, muscatel, or whatever, how they say that. I'm probably saying it wrong and totally outing myself.
I could see that, actually, yeah. It's definitely kind of fruity.
Yeah.
And it doesn't taste that roasted at all. It tastes more like an oolong to me than a pu'er.
I agree, yeah. Maybe a bit of earthy base to it, which might out it a bit as a post-fermented tea.
Right. And we might get into more of that at this point too.
Right.
Maybe just a hint of bitterness at the end of that first steeping that kind of is that earthiness a little bit too.
Right.
Beautiful color, really clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. I'm enjoying it. Actually, yeah, it's pretty nice, strong, lingering flavor. And especially given that was the technically third steeping, first cup we're drinking. That says good things.
Right.
Although that probably means that we're going to anticipate some more intense flavors going on.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see how this one is. I think
Yeah.
we're getting more into the core steeps of this.
Really great body, and just much more, to your point, earthy, tasting a little bit more of the funkiness now.
Little cherry almost.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Do you think, so speaking sort of the mom test, do you think this is a tea where it's like, this could be friendly to novices or moms, but you don't want to show them actually what they're drinking, because that might like put them off?
You know, like, maybe it's close. It's not as straightforwardly sweet or like a white tea or fruity or like just kind of a simple charcoal roast.
Right.
It reminds me more of like a wooey, where it's not aggressive necessarily, but it's also just a little bit of a different flavor palette. It's not abrasive, but also just kind of different than. It's certainly different than what I think normal people would be like. The plebeians would think of when they think of tea.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, I could definitely see some people just out of the box. This is the first tea they ever try that's, Gongfu style. And they're like, oh, it's interesting. It's good.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's almost less weird if someone just hadn't had a lot of different types of teas than like even a ripe pu'er is. Just because, I don't know. There's a lot of familiar flavors mixed in there. It's just the different combination of them is kind of unique.
Yeah. And it's really good. I mean, maybe just a hint of bitterness, but not mouth puckering or anything like that. Complex.
Right.
There's like a lot going on in this one. It's great. Beautiful color, too. Little hint of almost a smokiness aftertaste. Just a little bit. Again, there's like kind of that earthiness going on.
Smell that.
Nice.
Wow, the aroma is also so interesting. This one's really quite a pleasant aroma too, as far as these go. Sometimes you can get this really interesting sort of almost like yeasty, grainy aroma that comes from these, and you get a little bit of that here, but it's not prominent enough that you're like, "What the fuck is this?" And I kind of like the "What the fuck is this," but not for everyone.
Just remembering.
What the fuck is this? Let's put it in my body. Yeah.
We're not a kids show here on TeaDB. We're hardcore.
Yeah. I punched a guy to get this tea. We slammed down Fuzhuans on the table.
This is good. I expected it to get much more bitter than it is.
Mm-hmm. The bitterness is extremely mild if you're like a raw pu'er drinker.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe a bit much for a oolong drinker that likes their tea on the lighter end, but not unpalatable at all.
To your point, I think so. My guess, I was gonna say maybe the first steeping would be friendly to like a average tea drinker.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe your mom would enjoy it, but I don't feel like this is graduated to a different level of intensity or bitterness.
Mm-hmm.
Just little different notes, dynamic tea, really nice. That cherry. Don't taste it as much now. I feel like more of the earthiness is coming through, more of the funk and age.
Yeah, and you like those flavors. Yeah,
I definitely do. Now it tastes much more like a pu'er.
Right. Do you want one more, or should we?
Let's do one more.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
Make sure to reboil that water. Definitely one that I feel like as a default, hitting all of the dark teas at boiling, I think is a good move. If you're just curious.
Yeah.
These teas, I mean, like, I'm pushing it pretty hard, boiling water, using about 5 grams, 75 milliliters.
Yeah.
And it's not getting really very bitter at all.
Yeah. I think this would be in the category of you can kind of go for it and you won't be too punished.
Yeah. I mean, maybe not forget about it for 2 hours. But, 30 minutes is probably fine.
Yeah, I just remember hanging out with Scott and just getting so hot in Bend, and also just getting so devastated with those steeps.
Yeah. You're like the guy in Scanners where it's like, oh, my head's gonna explode.
This is esoteric reference. I like it. Our audience knows.
We respect the Canadian film directors here.
Yeah.
All right, so look at that color.
Yeah.
Even prettier.
Yeah.
Red.
Yeah, nice. really clean.
Yeah.
Let's do it. It's gonna be hot. Here we go.
Cheers. Hmm.
It's awesome. Really dynamic. You know, this kind of tea might just be more for a tea nerd simply because of how much it's shifting and moving around.
Right, yeah.
In terms of how long you expect the longevity of a tea like this to last, James, what would you say?
I think it's going to be less than a pour.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pushing this tea pretty hard already.
Right.
So I don't know. You probably get like 7, 8 solid ones and maybe 10 if you want to get like some sweet water brews. What's your favorite steep? Do you like this steep the most, or do you like some of the earlier ones?
Gosh, it's hard to say. I wouldn't want to pick one because honestly, the cool thing about this tea is compared to some of the other teas that are great, this one has so much movement. I mean, that is itself some of the treat of this tea.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to pick, I think probably the second steep for me.
Okay.
I think it had like enough of that fruit. You mentioned the cherry, hints of bitterness, hints of the earthiness. Now we're getting into those deeper, bold flavors,
right?
Which are great too. I think we might come back to some of those flavors in steepings like 6, 7.
Yeah. As it starts to slowly peter out. Yeah, I think for me, my favorite was the fourth, just because I think that was the strongest. I think it had like just the fullest body and stuff like that. And I think that's mainly just a product of I brewed it harder, I reboiled the water. But yeah, I mean, I think this is an engaging, interesting tea.
Totally, yeah. Pick this up. Do you think is this still available at Yunnan sourcing?
It is, and I think it's pretty cheap. I think that you get like a big ass brick for it's like $30 to $40. So.
That's a really good deal. Okay, yeah, I would pick this up. TeaDB recommended. What does that mean? Yeah.
TeaDB certified.
Yeah.
Boom.
We need that.
Yeah, so that's how we just end every episode. TeaDB rejected.
All right.
The Food, Drug, and Tea Administration rejected.
Don't watch anymore. Don't subscribe. Just hang up. Get off of YouTube. Quit the internet.
Yeah. What are you doing with your life?
Yeah. But if you want to keep watching, you can. We're going to do this next week. We'll see you guys. Wait, send this to your mom. Subscribe. Do the comments.
Yeah. Buy this tea. Send this tea to your mom, too.
Yeah, definitely. TeaDB.org for more content. Tons of content there. And see you guys next time.
Cheers.